I just moved down from Central New York about a year ago.
Oh, cool.
Almost exactly a year ago. And I think I've been doing art for as long as I can remember.
Oh, really?
I know that for most of my life I always did like pen or pencil. Like I really enjoyed like the smaller pieces. And then I discovered working big. And I was like, well, that's a lot of pencil. So I found that paint actually covers area a lot better. And so I've only been painting for about maybe 20 years. But I've been doing art in some form. Like I can't even tell you when I started.
Yeah, it's just always been with you.
Yeah, I come from a very gifted family, and everybody in my family, you know, can sing and play musical instruments, and I cannot. But I can draw you a pretty picture.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's another art form, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is it about art and painting that like keeps you doing it? Why do you like it?
So a lot of like my smaller, well, my canvas pieces, I love painting because I like to show emotion. Most of my pieces don't have faces on them, and so which you don't really see in my murals as much as like some of my other artwork. But I really love the idea of showing emotion without faces, because I feel like it makes it more universal, that everybody can kind of relate to. You know, if it has a face, it's somebody you know, and if it doesn't, then it's
I feel like more people can like relate to.
Yeah. And then since I started doing murals, I just love. I mean, there's something really invigorating about putting paint on a big surface, like, you know. It's like we're not supposed to paint on walls, and so the fact that I have permission to paint on walls is pretty fancy.
That's awesome. So when you get started on a mural, I mean, what is that process like? How do you plan it? How do you get it done? I mean, it seems overwhelming to have so much space.
So often it starts out as a small picture, you know, whether like this one specifically is a beer label. But there's other ones where I'll talk to the client about what is important to them. Like one of the pieces that I just finished, it was very family oriented. It was about cousins, about children, about grandchildren. And so we talked about a lot of things that matter to them. And, you know, we do a couple sketches, and then we talk back and forth about like to make sure that's exactly what they want. And because at least a lot of times, you know, it kind of don't represent something. Often with businesses, it's not as personal, but that also, it does have some form of, it is very specific. And then once it is on a small piece of paper, then I'll do a grid on the wall, and which is, you know, for every inch on the paper, it's a foot on the wall. And so then instead of drawing a 12 by 13 piece, all I have to worry about is 12 by 12. You know, and then it's like, oh, that's not too hard, and then it's kind of like a puzzle. It goes together like a puzzle. And then once the lines are there, it's like coloring in a coloring book. And then sometimes you have to add like the 3D and the highlights and the lowlights and the colors are always very fun.
It seems like that actually would be pretty neat just to watch it and see it come together.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. The one thing though, like if I'm doing a mural for, I'm only